Good evening, everyone. This is Chris Schultz, FridayNightVictors.com. This is our Week 3 wrap-up, Week 4 picks. I'm here with Frank Vajcner, Gary Hauf. Frank, how you doing tonight?
Oh, doing well. Busy day at work today, and my officiating this week is going to take me to just a JV game, so I can pretty much pick all our games tonight unless something crazy happens and I find out I get called for a varsity game.
Okay, and I see you got your Red Wing jersey on, or your Red Wing shirt on. The Red Wings just made a pick in the draft?
Yes, Lucas Raymond out of Frölunda in Sweden. I'm little bit surprised that they went that way, but you know what? I don't think there was really any bad way that Steve Yzerman could have gone here, given where they were at and who they had available to them. So I would say I like the pick, but I won't get too much in that. Let's stay on subject.
Yeah, well, he was number 1 on my draft board at the 4 spot, so I think we got a good player. Gary, how you doing?
I didn't even have a draft board for that, so I'm okay though.
Okay, all right. Well, let's just dive right into the Week 3 games, maybe some scores that jumped out at us. I've got my other computer over here, so if I'm looking off to the other way. How about Huron 26, SMCC 7? Huron quarterback Austin Myers got hurt early in the first quarter, was down on the field for a while. Sounds like it was a dislocated knee. Gary, thoughts on that game? You were there. You made the call.
Yeah, it's too bad Myers got hurt. He was on his way to a big game. He got hurt early, but you could tell he was on his way to a big game. He hurt himself on a kind of a scramble play. Trying to get the first down. It was like 3rd and 15, and he almost got there. But it's too bad he got her. Hopefully he can come back for the playoffs, or maybe a little bit deeper into the playoffs. Who knows? But hopefully he can come back and play. From there, the game was a little bit. A couple possessions by each team really didn't go anywhere. I think teams were kind of, shaken by the injury. He was down for a half hour. So, but after that, Huron controlled the game. Offensive line, defensive line, they controlled the line of scrimmage. Stevens had a nice game. Molnar had a nice game. Smith had a couple plays. But yeah, Huron was the better team, no doubt about that.
Frank?
Well, obviously I want to send my well wishes to Austin Myers for suffering injury. I mean, I do hope he does get to return for them, because I think he's such a big part of their offense. But yeah, the Chiefs ended up taking care of business. It was next man up for them. I know they've had Chase Molnar playing quarterback for them. I think he's kind of played some of that in the past. So there's some experience there with him knowing the offense and knowing a lot of the plays. And plus Tyson Stevens, running back, I think he turned in a nice game as well. Well, and of course, Isaac Smith is Isaac Smith. I don't think there's really much more that needs to be said about him, but the Chiefs got a tough one coming up against Milan, though. That is a revenge game, and I know we'll get more into that when we do picks, but they lost a heartbreaker last year, and they're looking to avenge one, but Milan's not going to be any easier.
Right. I'd agree with that. All right, let's go to Saline 48, Monroe 21. Monroe led 7-0 early in this game, I believe. Frank, thoughts on this? Is this just big Saline flexing their muscle yet again?
I would have to agree with that 100%. I think we've seen it in years past, and we're seeing it again this year. Saline's just on a different level than pretty much everybody else in the SEC Red. They've now won 36 consecutive games, and obviously they've got a ton of talent. Larry Robinson is probably the next great quarterback that they've turned out there, and Joe Palca, I believe, is one of the best coaches in the state. And, of course, he pretty much anywhere he's gone, he's been successful. I know he had previously been at Whitmer High School in the Toledo area. So Saline just keeps on trucking. So, I mean, they've got to go to Bedford next, and we'll get to that later. But I think Monroe, this is one where you got to just shake it off, move on to the next one. You got some tougher ones coming up as well. You got Chelsea at the end of the season, plus your rivalry game with Bedford. So Trojans got to keep looking ahead.
Gary?
Yeah, like you said, they jumped out 7-0, did Monroe, and I thought, man, this might be the year. that somebody tops Saline in the SEC, but wow, 36 in a row, that's pretty crazy. You know, until somebody beats Saline. And I thought this would be the year with Panza, Blasser, and the boys. I thought maybe this would be the year. But no, Saline is still the gold standard, as they always are. I'm looking for Saline to – maybe this is that team that takes the next level in Saline. Since Polka's there, they've only won, I think, maybe 1 or 2 regionals. I understand Division I is really tough around here, but maybe this is the year I think they might have got to a semi or a final, but maybe this is the year that Saline breaks through big time.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that at all. And even though Division I is loaded with lots of great teams, I think Saline could be one of those teams. And they cracked the top 10 this week.
D1 is so tough. There's probably 12 teams that have a legitimate shot at it.
Really, I would agree with that 100%. Mm-hmm. Well, let's slide over to the third team in Monroe, Monroe, Jefferson, and Milan. Milan 19, Jefferson 14. This is a game that Jefferson led. I believe it was 14-13 at one time. Thoughts on this, Gary? The Bears are 0-3, but they have, they've played well. They have nothing to show for it other than, they've played well all 3 games.
They have, and it's just a little bit of a bugaboo for them right now. And, they've been having a couple, losing years there, and it's just tough to learn how to win. And they're learning. Close game against Airport last week or 2 weeks ago. Very, very close game against Milan. I don't think anybody saw that coming. But the Bears have some playmakers this year to go along with their usual rugged, the way they play. But Bears aren't going to be an easy win for anybody. That's for sure. But Milan, they win. They know how to win. They win these games. And Jefferson's learning how to do that still.
Frank?
Well, as my cat has seemingly joined in on this, I have to say Jefferson. I mean, yeah, I think they're definitely better than their record shows. I know they're 0-3, but this isn't the Jefferson that was constantly getting curb stomped on a regular basis and going over. They're competing in games, but they just can't seem to get over the hump. I think the talent and coaching is there. Gene Janot's done a very nice job. And there's plenty of talent, but the problem is they're in one of the toughest leagues in the Huron League, and I know they still got their season-ending rivalry game with SMCC. I think who they got coming up, is it Flat Rock? Do I have that right?
No, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think they play Flat Rock. I'm not sure, but the game against SMCC scares me. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah. That one will be interesting because I think what would have been their week 9 was Detroit Pershing, and that would have been a dub, but that one I believe is now off if I remember correctly. Well, Jefferson's competing. It's just they just got to be able to get over the hump. The players are there, the coaching's there. They just got to make it happen.
Okay, let's go on to one more game. Let's look at Sand Creek 50, Whiteford 14. We've got Sand Creek ranked number 1 in the Friday Night Victors rankings. Frank, Sand Creek, they're that good? I know Whiteford's young, but Sand Creek must be the real deal.
Yeah, I think that the roles have kind of reversed. I mean, it was a few years ago when it was Whiteford who was just going out and dominating everybody because they were just on another planet. And now Sand Creek is kind of taking that role too. They're number 1 in Division 8 for a reason. And I will say the game of the year in the Tri-County Conference is going to be between them and Erie Mason. Get your popcorn ready for that one. But name of the coach escapes me. It's John Gallagher. Yeah, he's really done a nice job. I know Gary, how much you love that single wing offense that they run.
Yes, sir.
The Alexander boys, 2 very good backs and very good all-state linemen in Jackson Marsh. Sand Creek, I could see possibly winning. They could possibly win Division 8 this year. I mean, it's not. I know they're number 1, but I'm not going to hand it to them yet. But I think they can definitely do it.
Gary?
I agree with Frank. It's a little bit of a role reversal. I almost text Coach Bensing. Did Sand Creek remind him of one of his old teams from a few years back in the way they're dominating, especially on the ground. Yeah, when you control the line of scrimmage and you got some fast kids that run with some anger, you're tough, especially in Division 8. Their offensive line goes 270. That's crazy. And they're very, very good. I've had them number one all year long when nobody else did. I haven't seen a ranking with Sand Creek number one until now, until Reading lost and got beat by Jonesville. Congratulations, Jonesville, on that. But, yeah, Sand Creek is 100% the real deal. They should be the favorite to win Division 8.
Okay. All right. So let's put a wrap on week 3. I will say that correct me if I'm wrong, but our poll just finished, and I believe Tyson Stevens from Huron won our Player of the Week for week 3. So congratulations to Tyson. I'll say this about the young man. I don't, I've seen him play. I don't know him personally, but I will say this: he is a dude. He's a specimen. He's put together, and you can see why he's a good back and a good defensive player for the Chiefs. So congratulations to Tyson. All right, we're gonna go into something different. I wanted to do kind of a rapid fire question thing here. I've got 3 questions for Gary and 3 for Frank, maybe 4 because some just came into my head. But we're gonna try and keep our answers to 30 to 40 seconds. I'll throw them out there. These guys do not know the questions, but I'm gonna throw them out there one at a time. So, and I'm not sure about this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Gary, after what you've seen of Monroe and Bedford after 3 weeks, what do you expect? Who do you expect to win the head-to-head matchup and advance further into the playoffs this year? That can be 2 different teams, right? Bedford could win, but you could expect Monroe to go further because of the different divisions. Your thoughts?
Let me first get in one of our sponsors, Cakes by Stephanie.
Yes.
Thank you, Cakes by Stephanie on Monroe Street, Monroe and Elm area there, almost downtown. Thank you, Cakes by Stephanie. Go see Stephanie Morgan and get yourself some good cakes and cupcakes. But no, we appreciate Cakes by Stephanie big time. To answer your question, Chris, you're right. I did not know this question. Wow, I sure would like to answer that after this week to see what Bedford does against Saline. I think Monroe. I think Monroe will win the game, and I think Monroe can advance farther. Of course, it's always about matchups in the playoffs, but I think Monroe's slightly the better team, very close. But I would go with the Trojans if I had to pick one, and apparently I do.
Okay, all right, great. So next, let's go to Frank. Right now, Erie Mason leads the state in scoring, but their defense has been impressive as well. Which is more important as the Eagles move further into their schedule, offense or defense?
I think their defense is definitely more important because that's what's really been the surprise. We knew they could score points with Noah Boudry, Tanner Herrera, Bryce Steele, Zach Brown, Ty Mandel, all those guys. But defensively, I think this has been probably the big surprise. This is their lowest point total they've allowed at 13.2 points per game since 2004. Or I mean, I know I actually went and studied that and looked it up. But I mean, look, we've seen this with Erie Mason in the past, where they seemingly led at the scoreboard, but then all of a sudden they run into a team where they can't stop anybody. So now that they actually seemingly have a defense. And I'll mention his name again. Cooper Kinsey had another nice game against Morenci. I think it's going to start with him and the rest of the guys up there. They're going to have to keep that up, especially when they play Sand Creek, who loves to pound the rock and behind a big line. If they get past Sand Creek, then I think you could say, yeah, Erie Mason's defense is for real, and they could very well be a team that nobody wants to play in the postseason.
Okay, I would agree with that. And, they say offense fills the seats and defense wins championships. And that is a football quote originally. So, all right.
It's true.
Cooper Kinsey, another 5 tackles for loss.
Wow. Holy cow. All right, Gary, right now your SMCC Falcons are sitting at 1-2 with 3 games to go. They just picked up Detroit Southeastern for week 9. What can we expect from your Falcons the rest of the way?
hopefully more cohesion. That's what I'm looking for. They're not congealed, if you will, quite yet, and a little disjointed. Yeah, I looked that word up. Yeah. Little disjointed. Turnovers. It's not 100% official about the Jungleers, but I think it's going to happen. And regardless, Central's going to have a week 9. Whoever.
Well, that'll be cool because Southeastern's good. They're 3-0. They have a good team. They're a good team. All right, let's dive back to Frank. Frank, both Dundee and Ida are sitting at 1-2 with 3 games to go in the season. They don't play each other this year. Who do you think has the better team?
Ooh, I gotta think about that one because you really got to look at.
You got 30 to 40 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ida's gone up against Clinton, Hudson, and Hillsdale. Dundee's gone against Blissfield, Onstead, and Columbia Central. I mean, really, I think you're probably going to know more probably after this week. Dundee is going to go up against Clinton. We'll see how they do. And quite frankly, I think that I'll get to what I think about that one in the picks because I think Clinton's going to be pretty ticked off after losing by 2 touchdowns to Blissfield. And then Ida, they're supposed to play Onstead, who Dundee beat, and that's their only win. And
What's your answer, Frank? What's your answer?
I would say I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait on that one because I think they're probably about the same.
You're punting. I'll answer the question for you.
I have to because I've only seen a little bit of footage on both teams. I'm looking at their results. It's tough. It's really tough. Honestly, tough for me to say.
All right. I'll answer for you. I'm going to say it's the Ida Blue Streaks. I'll just throw it out there right there, and I won't give any other reasons other than it is. How about that? So sorry to cut you off. All right, Gary. Yeah. Carlson Marauders seem to be playing very well. They're 3-0. The last 3 seasons, they've run the T offense. Dan Kelflish has spread it out a little bit more. Is this offense better for a team with the caliber of talent that a Carlson has? Your thoughts? I know you're a T guy, but what's your thoughts on that?
I am. Well, I think when Coach Jarmo took over, he propelled the program into the playoffs, and they had some really good seasons for Carlson for sure. And Coach K, maybe he's taking it to the next level. They're playing great. I mean, they're playing outstanding. And they got some tough games coming up, and we'll see what they're all about here real soon. But I would think the players there probably enjoy spreading it out and having a little bit more fun with that, potentially. So, yeah, I think the players enjoy the spread offense, and you're seeing the results of it. And, it isn't easy to do what Coach K's done, so kudos to him.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. And I think in defense of a Coach Jarmo, when you run the T, if you win, it's fun. It doesn't matter what offense you run.
Right.
Okay, thanks. Last one, Frank. The athletic directors from the Huron League decided they would not award a league champion this year because of the 5-game schedule. Do you disagree or agree with that?
I disagree with it 100% because I still think everyone else is going to crown champion regardless. And look, I know it's 5 games. I know we're not going to have a true champion, but I think it's just going to be fun just for debating purposes and discussion purposes because right now I think the co-champions of the league will be the Riverview and Huron, and we may actually get that de facto championship game provided they meet each other in the playoffs. So I would say they should just go ahead and name the champion or co-champions in this case.
Okay,
everybody knows who it's going to be. I mean, after the season's done, you know who ran the table, who won it. So why not just give it to them?
Yeah, I agree.
You got it. Well, you'd probably have to give it to 2 of them because New Boston Huron can still conceivably from.
You can have co-champions. You have co-champions all the time in a 7-game schedule.
They can have 4. It could be split 4 ways this year. Maybe that's why they did it.
Yeah, maybe so. So
not enough games.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
All right, we got to move on to picks, but I do want to throw one more thing out there at you, Gary. I had tweeted it out when Chelsea played Schoolcraft. Schoolcraft, great matchup for them going against Chelsea, but I really thought with Edwardsburg looking for a game, I thought Chelsea should have played the Eddies. I know you agreed with me on this. Your thoughts on that, real quick, and we don't have a lot of time because we got to make a bunch of picks, but thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, just as a fan, who wouldn't want to see two great programs like Chelsea and Edwardsburg? Would have been a great game. Not sure what Chelsea got out of the Schoolcraft game. It wasn't like they're really super close, or where it's an area game where it's just easy for everybody. Schoolcraft's on the west side. You know, I think everybody would have hoped they would have played Edwardsburg. Not sure why they went Schoolcraft.
And then the other thing is, we saw today that Allen Park is looking for a game, and Muskegon Mona Shores is looking for a game. Doesn't that just seem like they should match up and play? And even if Allen Park can't win that
Please make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen, right? I mean, I hear that Allen Park was looking to play crosstown rival Allen Park Cabrini. I just don't think that makes sense as far as Allen Park getting any better, or even for Cabrini to play a school that much bigger than them. I don't want to get into a debate on that. We got to get into this, but we want Allen Park to play Mona Shores, people. How about that? So, okay, let's get into these picks, guys. We've got about 11 minutes, so we got to fly.
Let's do it.
All right? We have to fly. So 3-0 Martin at 2-1 Lawrence in 8-man football. Frank, what do you got?
I'll go with Martin in this one. By the way, Chris, nice article you wrote on them.
Yeah, they're working hard there. Gary?
Yeah, that was a great article by you, and I'm going Martin. They're a top 10 team in Division 8 by far, and Chris Tuenstra, can't say his name, 2 touchdowns, 95 yards last week. Big game. They had a bunch of kids with big games. They have 5 kids with yardage and touchdowns. They're pouring it on. Martin's a good team, the Clippers.
And they play 8-man too.
Yeah, they play 8-man. I'm going to go with Martin as well. 3-0 Bedford at 3-0 Saline. Gary?
After I saw what Saline did to Monroe, you got to go Saline here. I'm not picking against Saline ever again until somebody beats them. Monroe or Bedford. Saline.
That's fair. Frank?
Even though I'm on the basketball staff at Bedford, I just think Saline's on a different planet, so I got to go Saline in this one.
I will go with Saline as well. I think you guys are right. All right, 2-1 Monroe. I don't know why I had 3-0. 2-1 Monroe at Ann Arbor Pioneer, who's 0-2. Frank?
Pioneer just lost to Ann Arbor Huron for the first time in 17 years. I think Monroe bounces back in a big way. Give me the Trojans.
Gary?
Monroe wins by 50.
I'll go with Trojans as well. That's a big number. Okay, headed up to Mid-State, Fowlerville, 2-1 at Mason, 3-0. Gary?
Fowler's got a nice team, but they're nowhere in the
Fowlerville. Yes.
I thought you said Fowler.
Fowler's small school. Fowlerville.
Mason stepped down a little bit. Okay. Mason's potentially a top 10 team in their division. They're Division 3 or 4?
3.
3, yeah. I got them. I think I had them cracking. I can't remember.
Yeah. Bulldogs are a good team, good program. Mason wins.
Frank?
I'll take Mason in this one. They're in the top 10 in Division 3 for a reason.
Yeah, I'll go with Mason as well. Okay, let's go to 3-0 Clinton at Dundee, 1-2. Frank? Actually,
Clinton is 2-1.
Yeah, my bad. I'm all over the place.
Clinton just lost to Blissfield by 2 touchdowns. Blissfield put up 100 on Dundee. This one is probably going to get ugly real quick because Clinton is going to be ticked off. I will take Clinton.
Gary?
Yeah, a little bit surprising how come that Blissfield beat Clinton. Just a little bit. I thought Clinton would get them, but Blissfield controlled that game for the most part. Like Frank said, Clinton's they're not gonna be happy. They're gonna hang 50.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Clinton as well. I think they're pissed. All right, let's see. Onstead 0-3 at Ida 1-2. Gary?
Ida in a big way.
Okay, Frank?
I'm going with my alma mater. They got a bad taste in their mouth after giving up half 100 to Hillsdale, and Onstead is not good. So give me the Blue Streaks.
Okay, I'll go with the Streaks as well. Guys, we've got 10 minutes left. All right, we're going to go Lake Odessa, Lakewood, 2-1 at Olivet, who's 3-0. Frank?
Give me Olivet in this one. Fun fact, I actually got to see Lake Odessa Lakewood's volleyball team last season when they played in the state quarterfinal against my alma mater. But I'm going Olivet.
Okay. Gary?
I like Olivet, the Eagles. They're like Mason. Great, really good program and playing really well.
I'll go with Olivet as well. All right, next we got Britton Deerfield, 1-2 at Erie Mason, who's 3-0. Gary, go.
Yikes. Eagles.
Frank?
Britton Deerfield did get their first win against Pittsford, who is awful. I think Erie Mason rolls in a big way. I had over/under 80 points for the Eagles. Anyone?
I'll go with the under on that, but I'll go with the Erie Mason Eagles as well.
Might they look ahead to next week versus Sand Creek? I don't know.
I don't think Boudry's going to let them look ahead.
Okay,
let's go 0-3 Pittsford at 1-2 Whiteford. Gary?
Whiteford wins pretty big. Pittsford's they're down, and Whiteford's a little down for them, but not that down.
Frank?
Pittsford has only scored 7 points all season. Give me Whiteford.
I'll take Whiteford as well, even though they're young. I think it's a rebuilding year for Pittsford. All right, 3-0 Sand Creek at 1-2 Summerfield. Should we just all say this together? Sand Creek?
Sand Creek.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Frank, real quick, what's the temperature? Summerfield's in your backyard, right? I mean, I thought they'd be a little bit better this year. What have you been hearing?
I honestly haven't really heard too much because I've been occupied with work and officiating. But I think Summerfield is somewhat better than their record shows. It's just they're just the Tri-County Conference is a lot tougher this year.
It is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, let's go to Riverview Gable Richard, 3-0 at Manchester, 2-1. Gary?
Richard wins, and I think they win somewhat considerably, a couple touchdowns or more.
Frank?
I'm not sold on Manchester at all. I know they're 2-1, but I think Riverview Gable Richard is just that much better. I'll take the Pioneers.
Yeah, I think the Pioneers win by 3 or 4 touchdowns. I think that's pretty accurate. Their 2-1 record's a little deceiving. All right, big game. Harper Woods 0-3 at Carlson, 3-0. Frank?
Make it 4-0 for Carlson, although I'm kind of surprised Harper Woods is 0-3. Usually, I thought they'd be somewhat better, but I'm taking them wrong.
They've played arguably the toughest schedule in the state of Michigan.
I don't think it's arguably.
Yeah, it's pretty
the toughest.
Yeah,
Carlson might be the second easiest team in their schedule.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Yeah. So, what are you going to do there, Gary? Who you going?
I'm going with Carlson. They're rolling, but man. Kudos to Harper Woods for that schedule. That is insane.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go with Carlson as well, but I think it's going to be a great game, and it'll probably be a back-and-forth affair. Probably pretty fun to watch. I might go over there for that game because I got my Friday open this week. All right, we got to move along here. Flat Rock 0-3 at Airport, 1-2. Gary?
Airport. Flat Rock's just they're down. But this will be the game they can win, I think, but I think Airport gets them.
Yeah, it's a rivalry game for sure.
Yeah,
Frank?
right.
It's the battle for the jug, and the jug is going to go to the JETS, Jets.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go with Airport as well. I'll just leave it at that. All right, SMCC 1-2. They are traveling to the island to play the Red Devils of Grosio, who are 2-1. Frank?
Oh, it's never easy to go win in the island on a Friday night, so I'm going to go with Grosio.
Okay. Gary?
I got to pay a toll to get on the stinking island. I'm probably going to come back with a loss. It's an even year, Chris, as you pointed out, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018, and again in 2020. they're always really good. And in the odd years, they're not as good. It's just a strange thing, I guess, an occurrence. And again, I want to talk about, we talked about it earlier, Grosse Ile's offline. Grosse Ile's playoff district. Man, is it ever winnable? They got to be licking their chops and just hope they stay healthy. They can come out of that district, no problem, Grosse Ile. Grosse Ile wins.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Grosse Ile as well. And I agree with you. I think they have a chance to win their 18 district. All right, next we got 0-3 Jefferson at 3-0 Riverview. Gary?
Riverview, probably the best team in the Huron League.
Frank?
I'll take the Pirates in this one. I even wrote it in my staff questions. I think Riverview's found another gear.
I think that's fair. All right, and let's go to our game of the week, the Cakes by Stephanie game of the week, which is 2-1 Milan at 3-0 Huron. Frank?
I said this earlier. This is a revenge game for New Boston Huron. They lost to Milan by 1 point last year in Milan. This time it's at home. I don't know the status of Austin Myers. I don't know if he's going to play or not. But you know what? I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference because it's next man up. Chase Molnar was that next man up. We've mentioned Tyson Stevens, and also got to mention Isaac Smith being a playmaker as well. Milan's got too much firepower. Give me those Chiefs.
Gary?
Exactly what Frank said. But I also want to get in RKD Lawn Service, lawn and landscaping. They do it all. RKD, go talk to Jeff, and get your leaves done.
And so you're going with the Chiefs? Is that what you're saying?
I'm going right with Frank said. You better believe it.
All right, I'm going to go with
Don't even go Milan, Chris.
well, here's the thing. I mean,
I know you love Jesse Hoskins.
I don't know who's going to quarterback the Chiefs.
Molnar. Or the young Smith, but it's going to be Molnar.
Okay, I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys, and I'm going to say the quarterback is going to be the young man they call Muzzy. And I'll just leave it at that. He's a sophomore. He's going to step in to play quarterback. He's got a cannon. You'll see Molnar move to receiver, and the Chiefs win, and they get a little bit of revenge. That's just a hunch. I have not talked to anyone. It's just a hunch. I know they have a really good sophomore quarterback. So I guess that's it, guys. That's all.
We want to thank Varsity Athletic. And another one of our great sponsors. We mentioned RKD Lawn. We mentioned Cakes by Stephanie. Joe Bellino, State Representative, District 17. Vote Joe Bellino. Joe and Peggy.
Frank, you got anything to add before we get out of here? We got about 30 seconds. Say it quick, brother.
Well, I'm not 100% sure what's going on yet for me Friday, whether I'll be watching a game or if I'm going to be officiating. Only time will tell.
Frank, officiate Sand Creek Erie Mason. Get in on that one. That's not this week.
You're gonna have to talk to Mark Maxson on my behalf.
Okay. I don't think you might not be able to keep up with that game.
I don't think anybody could keep up with that.
Just stand at the 50-yard line and look like this.
You know, I mentioned I might go to Carlson, Harper Woods. I might go to Milan Huron. It all depends where I can get in the door. What my team plays on Saturday in the afternoon. So if I get a chance to get out and see somebody else. Gary, you want to say something before we go?
I'm good, man. Let's have a good week of football. It's been fun.
Right. Thanks, guys. Good night, everybody. FridayNightVictors.com. All right, we're good.